if you are an actor, you are constantly facing the task of dealing with the complex nature of human behaviour. You're dealing with the nature of your character. You're dealing with your own complexities as to how you make decisions and how you trust yourself to make them and whether they're working or not. And you're also dealing with the complexities and the decision-making processes of the people around you, the other actors, and the director. And managing all those things is complicated in itself. And as they are all part of the conversation, then conversations can be quite complicated and confusing even. And it can be hard to find a clear path of action out of those conversations. And that's why I'm persevering with a list of smart questions that you can ask directors or casting directors to try and resolve those complications in this 26th Talking Acting, which is in fact the first for 2023. Now, when I came up with this list of smart questions, actors who'd been working with me for 10 years more had said, why haven't we had this before? They saw it as immediate value. And we've persevered with it, and I'm persevering it with you, because I think understanding how the nuances of communication works in these complex relationships and how you can manage them better is really useful. So what we're talking about is circumstances where, of course, discussions about story and character, which I've said before in these segments, are naturally complicated. How you can sort through those complications to find simple issues that you can translate into practical performance choices, because your performance process needs to be simple so you can do it effectively, doesn't it? So if you've just been listening to a director or a casting director who's had a lot of complex points to make, then a smart thing to do is to repeat what they have just said, but in a really simple way. And the point I've made before, but is worth making again, is if you repeat it in a complicated way, you're going to get a complicated answer. You're looking for a simple answer, so try and simplify it down to one word. So if you said to them, for example, so you think I should be more aggressive, or you think I should be more supportive or more affectionate or something, just using one key word. And it doesn't matter whether your interpretation of what they've said to you is correct or not. In fact, the point is exactly that, to find out whether you're on the right track or whether you're on the wrong track. So there's no need to be self-conscious about it. Just find a simple concept and put it out there and see what feedback you get, because that feedback is hopefully going to be simpler than the initial description they gave you, which have lots of elements in it. And if you get a simple yes, do that, well, then that's given you a really clear path to make an adjustment to your performance process. And if you've got a no, hopefully you've got some simpler concepts as to what it is they are actually looking for. So repeat what they've said to you using the simplest form you can have, and that probably means extracting one simple element of all the complicated things they've mentioned. So in our last masterclass of the year, we effectively had an audition workshop with Jane Norris, one of Melbourne's leading casting directors, running the session for us. And one of the things that she said really plainly is that she is looking for actors who can offer at least 5 different versions of a scene. 5 different versions. So if you're going to keep that casting director happy, firstly, you need to be able to change. And secondly, you also need to be able to clearly understand the direction that you've been given. And what was interesting was that everybody in that group did a fantastic job at asking smart questions. And what does that tell us? It tells us that if you practice, you get better at these things. I'll be back with another smart question because there are more to share with you next week. Cheers. If you have a question about this unique approach to acting process, you can email me, richard@rehearsalroom.com, or download the ebook. It's free too.